People are like, oh, are we going too fast? And I said, yes. They're like, there's no such thing as too fast. And I'm like, clearly no one has paid attention to racing because there is certainly such a thing as too fast. All right. Now, here's the funny thing about it. You bring the bar down. You force the bar down. Technology is going to rise to the occasion, and they're going to get faster and faster and faster and faster. And then new regulations are going to have to come and bring you back down to earth. It's going to happen, and that's racing. And I'm totally fine with that. All right? Because it's perpetual. It's just going to keep going and going and going. And that is racing. And I love it. You want to know why? Because that badass shit that these racers are racing and winning with, this stuff shows up on storefronts 4 or 5 years later. And suddenly knuckleheads like you and me are going, dude, I'm running this. You're like, oh, dude, that's so rad. Okay. Turbo kits were unobtainium 10 years ago. Now, call JP Racing. He'll turbo your Yamaha tomorrow. All right. He's got the tune for it in the kit. Done. Riva Racing, done. They'll do it too. All right. You want to go freaking ape? Go right ahead. Race level, championship level technology is now available to the knuckleheads like you and me who want to go fast to piss off your buddies on the lake. Okay. That's fine. But for right now, we need to consider we want to keep our racers alive. We need a safe venue. All right. So what do? Do you put mandatory boost control? Do you put boost controls, maximum boost outputs on these watercraft? You say, okay, you got to run a blow-off valve at this pressure. When you make X amount of boost, that blow-off valve has to open. You can only run 17 pounds of boost, 16 pounds of boost, 20 pounds of boost, whatever. Whether it's supercharged or turbocharged, that BOV is going to go woo and spool off. Oh, okay. Or we're going to bring it down to 12 pounds of boost. Oh, well, the Cowie guys are like, damn, dude, I'm wide open. I'm making 16. Well, you have an advantage of that hull. You have advantage of weight. Now we're bringing the bar down. We're putting restrictor plates on. Well, it sucks. Yeah, it sucks. That's racing. What are you going to do? All right. Mandatory boost controls. That exists. That's out there. It's very easy to check. All you have to do when you go into tech inspection, they take the boost signal hose off, put it on an air compressor. Boom. Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. You were pulling 22 pounds of boost there, Billy. Okay. All right. Well, we're taking your trophy from you. We're docking your points. Oh. And that is very, very easy. It's very easy. Okay. Everyone's got to run them. Okay. Now you are reducing maximum horsepower output. Okay. Fair enough. All right. Or, and this is where it gets really scary, racing, pro level racing, is naturally aspirated only and displacement regulated. You can only run a 2-liter, naturally aspirated. That is going to be your two choices. Either get rid of supercharged and turbocharged and nitrous, and it's naturally aspirated only, which is really drastic and is going to piss off a lot of the OEs, which I know the OEs will not be interested in. Or you put maximum boost output, and then you have to tech inspect all the vehicles and make sure that they're not producing whatever the arbitrary number is that they come up with for the rule book. All right. And that's a Band-Aid to the existing supercharged machines, GPs, FXs, RXPs, RXTs, Ultras, all the supercharged units. I think the problem is we need to get rid of all of them. And this is the most unpopular opinion, except for guys with gray in their beard. I say we get rid of all the full-size runabouts. Get rid of them all. You can own them. You can buy them. You can take your kids out on the lake. You can sell them all you want. But an RXPX, an Ultra 310, an FX, a GP are not welcome at the World Finals. They're not welcome in the IGSBA rulebook unless you're doing offshore endurance racing, and that's going to be regulated elsewhere. Rather, all closed course racing is going to go back to pre-1999 track layouts, and it's going to be rec light watercraft only, sparks and EXs. And when Cowie decides, oh crap, we want to play ball too, that they come out with their own version of an EX or a spark. My point is smaller courses, smaller watercraft, lower speeds. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, Kevin's talking about racing sparks. Oh, dude, I'm out. I don't want to hear it. And I understand. But think about a couple things. Number one, spectators. Smaller, more technical course with way more turns. A smaller, more technical course means lower speeds, more turns, more passing in the turns, more exciting racing. And spectators are able to watch it. It's a smaller course is able to go in smaller venues like riverfront towns, like here in Nashville, right? On the waterfront, you could watch a whole race course inside of this really technical course. And they did it because they were all doing sport class racing, old school blasters, old school XPs. All right. That is what we're talking about. You can use modern equipment. They're the same damn size and basically the same output as all the smaller sport class skis, but you put the EXs and the sparks out on these smaller courses. Suddenly you're like, oh, now it's a racer's game. It's not a who's got the biggest, the biggest swinging freaking engine. Right? Oh, and then you can line the waterfront and everyone's watching the whole race instead of like, vroom. Well, there they go. We got to wait 20 minutes for the other lap to come back because it's such a, 90 mile an hour open super course track. Number three, really. Cost of entry. Guy says, hey, I want to get into jet ski racing. Well, if I want to be competitive, I got to go buy a GP 1800R SVHL. Or I got to go buy an FX SVHL. Or I got to go buy an RXPX. Your cost of entry just into a stock ski is $17,000. Okay. Then you need a car. Then you need a trailer. Then you need something to tow it with. Then you need to modify it. And then you need blah, 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 blah. And it keeps going, it keeps going, keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. All right. This guy's into it for $30,000. And you're like, mother effer. And then he's thinking, well, what if I grenade the motor in this one? I should probably have a second ski. There's very few people who have two skis. There's very few. So then you start scratching your head and you're like, okay, well, forget this. I'm going to do something else. Instead, they say, hey, listen, well, I'm going to go get a Yamaha EXR. I'm going to put a Riva Stage 1 kit on it. All right. That's a 60 mile an hour ski. Got some good handling components. What am I into that ski? Well, it's a used EXR, so it's already 2 years old. Okay, great. It's got some hours on it. Whatever. It's got some scratches on it. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, Riva kit. Okay, I'm in it for, there's $2,000 right there. And suddenly it's like, dude, I walked into jet ski racing for $12,000 instead of $40,000. Oh, what? And I'm alongside the other pro classes or the other amateur classes. Oh, okay, cool. Suddenly cost of entry. What does that do to the starting line? That doubles, if not quadruples, your starting line. You got your entries to the point they're like, we're going to have two heats just for qualifying. Because suddenly you got 30 guys you want to race. Like, we're not putting 30 dudes out on the track. So we're going to split it 15-15. We're going to have two heats, and we're going to have a qualifying tree, and we're going to break it down. And suddenly you have a full lineup, and it's 1997 again, because guys can get in cheap, and it's a technical course that people can stand on the beach and watch. This isn't hard. And that's what jet ski racing used to be. And what's funny was that, listen, I've talked to a lot of dudes who were there in 1990, 91, 92, when the IGSBA said, hey, listen, we're putting sit-downs on the track. And all the stand-up guys started printing out shirts and said, I'd rather quit than sit. Okay, I get it. All right. I think my brother's got one of those t-shirts. The problem with putting the runabouts on those tracks was they kept getting faster and they couldn't make the turns and they were getting sloppier and it was harder and harder and harder to compete. So they started ballooning the track out. Oh, well, let's let them stretch their legs. Let's give them a big long stretch in the back so they can really get some speed. And the manufacturers kept twisting the knife a little bit. And the IGSBA is like, we need your money, so whatever you say, sir. And they kept twisting and twisting and twisting until now we have these tracks that are gargantuan. They're absolutely ridiculous, and they're dangerous. They're dangerous. The machines have gone too far, all right? It's Buddy Baker going 200 miles an hour in a 426, 600 horsepower Hemi on Talladega with garbage tires in 1969, all right? It's Bill Elliott going 212 miles an hour on Talladega without a restrictor plate. And NASCAR's like, dude, we won't survive. Because the next accident, like Bobby Allison's accident, thank God Bobby was able to live and walk after that. But a lot of people didn't. Okay? A lot of people didn't. And so they had to put restrictors on stuff. They had to tamper it down. Now, don't get me wrong. It goes faster and faster and faster, and they have to change things again and change things again, and that's racing. That's what happens, okay? Competition breeds excellence. I'm all for it. But right now, jet ski racing needs to have a worldwide come to Jesus meeting.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out. This clip was taken from our weekly podcast that we record here every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to watch the whole video, you can go to the Watercraft Journal's YouTube channel, go to playlists, and then click on live sessions. You're going to see it there. Otherwise, go ahead and leave a like, a comment, and definitely subscribe to the channel. It helps us grow. And again, thanks again for watching our videos, and we hope to see you soon.